It's unique inside and extremely rare on the outside. But can it win me over with that price? There are certain things in life that are great. So great, in fact, that we take them for granted. But the moment that they're gone, the moment that they're far away from us, or for a moment in time, they're not with us, we miss them. We want them to come back. We want to experience life, build memories once again with such things. Zelos is kind of like that, and I realized how great Zelos truly was because it's been weeks and months, it may be months, since we have had Zelos in our channel. And happily, Elshan made sure that that is corrected, and he sent us his latest collection, the Nova. And this time around, he made it extra special because he sent to us the Tantalum version. It is truly an honor and actually a first for our channel to review anything Tantalum at all. So, what makes this Zelos very special aside from the material, and what makes the material special in the first place? Find out in this video and see if this latest Nova is actually a watch worthy of such, well, greatness. Though Zelos has been absent from the channel for a good few weeks, actually just 2 months, we're already craving for the next great release. This one keeps up with the dressy, high-end trend as we are immediately met with this very compact and slim profile. Despite its imposing crystal and bezel, this new Nova has a thin impression because of that lack of automatic rotor. It's also kind of appropriate because dress watches are known to have their hand-winding feature. But there's something special with the bezel once you realize it's not stainless steel. We'll get back to that because my wrist has an itching for tantalum that it needs to scratch. This 37mm diameter case, paired with a 44mm lug distance, is the perfect size for the underappreciated wrists like mine. Not only is the case comfortable, but so too is the very soft Horween leather strap. Off the wrist, the crown operation will be very simple and, well, uneventful. You can just pull the crown and set the time. There is no date complication to worry about, and the actual hand-winding experience is very smooth. Maybe a little too smooth for some, but these ETA calibers definitely feels high grade. There will be some that will wish that this is an automatic movement to mildly alleviate the work in setting the time. But let me tell you this, hard work is good, mateys. Especially when you can see the gears turn as you wind the watch. It also has this very cool polished frame to give that movement a more appealing spotlight. From the back, you can also glance the quick-release spring bars that is all too common nowadays. I won't complain here as these make it a lot easier for me to switch straps. That is, if you have a few premium leather straps lying around. Who's not working hard now, huh, matey? You know who works hard? Artem straps. This Artem strap is as far from dressy as my budget for a Patek Calatrava, but nothing prevents me from abusing this Zelos with my unlettered taste. I guess Artem got a backhanded slap on that too. See how easy it was to switch straps and swap dignity? Well, I must say I like this combo. It doesn't make sense all the time, but it looks pleasant enough to wear. This adds a lot of surface texture to the whole watch, both for good and bad. It's like getting a nice Angus strip loin and ordering a serving of filet mignon on the side. Mix it up a bit more by slapping on this blue loopless sailcloth strap with an Artem deployant. The lighter tone suits your eyes a little bit more while also matching the blue hue of the aventurine and that tantalum case. The buckle though would still not match, a hurdle that may be a little bit too expensive to overcome. But lastly, let's pair it up with Artem's Hydroplex strap to get a much more understated look. This gray tone might just be the closest that you can get to that tantalum hue, and might just be the best combo of the three. It's clear though, it's not as versatile as most Zelos offerings. But this Nova is really not meant to be a strap monster in the first place. It's an exotic dress watch through and through. So much so that we can even compare it to a vintage icon. There was a time when this Omega Genève was the default watch size for your wrist. With its 34mm case size, it's so close to the Nova's 37mm case diameter. This displays the changing market preference and the next generation's discovery of the dress category. Another thing that we can compare the Nova against the market is with its use of materials. Beside this dormant brand Solas, the aventurine clearly looks a lot more sparkly and dense. It's apparent that Zelos used more metal flakes inside their blend of aventurine, and it's even more beautiful in close-ups, believe me. From this view, you can see the potential of making this Nova even thinner and automatic if they used a micro-rotor caliber. I'm sure that has been a consideration, but as its current configuration, the Nova is one big value proposition, both by material and design. You too see the value in this model, and here are your thoughts. Mr. Zelos obviously approves. Benjamin Viss wrote a mini review praising the visual interest of the case and bezel, but ultimately preferred the older Nova over this one. Emanator said that I should have focused on the tantalum case more, as this review may be late. Well, let's see about that. Andra Jevtovich says that he was not a fan of aventurine dials and that it's too shiny for his taste. I can see how many may be a little tired of seeing aventurine or meteorite on their dials, or at least looking at them on the screen, but I don't have that kind of fatigue even when I've handled a lot of watches with these dials. But this variant really is more about that otherworldly qualities of tantalum. On this watch, you can enjoy both the matte and polished finishes of this very rare material. Even when the leather is just solid, nothing special, and that buckle may not match the case, all of these are small things that I'm willing to overlook for the sake of owning a tantalum watch at the cost of just $2,000. That is a significant value considering that tantalum is rarer to produce than gold. It is also a bit more scratch resistant, making me appreciate the level of effort that's applied in polishing this bezel. It's such a deep and rich polish that it can only be rivaled by that aventurine. And that dial is just mesmerizing. The very slightest of ray of light would yield a starry display in such a large uninterrupted space. This is then framed with the soft polished frame, in turn that is filled by this gorgeous slice of meteorite. At the 6 o'clock position, you'll notice that the logo is there, which caps the overall dial design. This also gives Zelos a reason to remove it from the 12 o'clock position. Even more room for that aventurine to cover. Zelos seems to have perfected this style of overloading the surface with texture variation. It's not just a variation of materials, but the patterns within the meteorite and aventurine, for example, are absolutely unique to each and every piece. And yes, there are some Zelos flourishes that land flat for many, such as the typeface used here for the numerals. It feels too avant-garde, if I may say. I can see that. It may look like something that would be fitting for a Heuer dial than Zelos. But at this point, I can safely say that this has become the Zelos personality. A personality encased in one bluish and rare metal. So it's supremely unique from the inside and extremely hard and rare in the outside. Nothing screams more Zelos if you ask me. This is what makes Zelos great. I can be distracted by other watches for a time, but this time around, I will definitely not be shipping this back to Zelos. There's only 50 of these Novas to go around with, and they truly are special not just because they're 50 units only, but at the same time because Zelos is using aventurine and meteorite in this very same dial, and of course, not to mention that very tantalizing, if I may say so, tantalum case from Zelos. So, what do you think about these new 37mm hand-wound Novas? Is this an appealing or a return of the smaller watches in the market? And are they classy enough despite the many different Zelos flourishes on the dial and in their cases? Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. And let us hope that we get more of these Zelos. There's been a while that we've been thinking that Zelos is kind of getting lost with all of the many different micro brands being released. They don't seem to hold much attention. But in the recent collections, it seems that they're starting to get back into that Zelos group. So what do you think? Is Zelos starting to make a comeback, or they never left in the first place? Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think.